The pandemic has turned homes into places of terror. Domestic abuse complaints shot up across the world. In China, it was particularly bad. The law against domestic abuse did not work, and now, after a strong push by activists, a Chinese city has created a domestic violence database. It basically helps a woman understand what kind of a man she's about to marry. As far as domestic abuse is concerned, it's a step in the right direction, but a lot more needs to be done, we are told. Here's a report.
Today is a nightmare for me. Fear and the feeling of hopelessness are suffocating. I'm having a complete mental breakdown. These are the words of a 42-year-old woman in China. 2 hours after she posted the message on WeChat, she leaped to her death from the 11th floor of her apartment building. Domestic violence was the cause of her suicide. Her husband had physically abused her while in quarantine together. Home is considered to be the safest place during the pandemic, but not for those living with an abusive partner or family member. The pandemic exposed China's lapses in containing the outbreak. It has also brought to light its deep-rooted infection of domestic abuse. Finally, one city in eastern China has decided to act on it. The Yiwu government has launched a domestic violence database. Before getting married, residents can check their partner's history of domestic violence. It will include information on offenders from across the country. The website will show if a person has faced restraining orders or been detained over domestic violence. Users will be able to search the database only twice a year. This initiative may be limited in its scope. In China, most cases of domestic abuse go unreported. The police is hesitant to file such complaints. Some women who take the brave step often see the courts set aside their case. The problem is, violence within families has traditionally been viewed as a private issue. It took 2 decades of campaigning by women's rights advocates for China to introduce a law against domestic violence. The law is 4 years old and the justice system is yet to take it seriously. There is another problem. This emerges from the top. The Communist Party is obsessed with promoting family values. Until 2001, abuse was not considered sufficient grounds for divorce. Although the party introduced the domestic abuse law in 2016, countermeasures make it difficult to quickly get out of an abusive marriage. In the recently passed Civil Code bill, China requires couples to undergo a 30-day cool-off period. This can put the victims of domestic abuse at great risk. So, domestic abuse in China is an issue that needs a change in approach at the top. It is the state's duty to protect its citizens. They should not be made to appeal for help on social media, or worse, post suicide notes on WeChat or Weibo. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.